Alright, we got 2 Samsung cases for the Flip 3 and 2 for the Fold 3, and also we got the S Pen. I'm going to give you my thoughts on all of them, and let's start off with the Flip 3. Let's go over the clear cover first, and this one is, like you guys already know, I'm not a big fan of clear cases, and this one brings it to another level. The style of this case is a little bit different. There are 3 pieces. The middle piece with the ring attached, that's where it's like the hinge of the 2 pieces for the top and bottom. And the thing that's pretty annoying to me is that these don't snap on, and you'll see later with the silicone case that one does. This one is very annoying to take off and on. So if you do like taking off your cases, I would not recommend on this one because you're gonna be so frustrated. And for my personal reasons why I don't like clear cases, they're really slippery. Over time, they do gather a lot of oil and grease, so it becomes like a huge fingerprint magnet. The only saving grace for me for this case is the ring. The ring is a little bit different than the Spigen thin fit because you do have this attachment in between. If you have a carabiner, you can just attach it to this and put it on anything. And also, you can just put it through your finger, and when you're holding it, it gives that extra security. Something that could be a bit concerning is that when you stuff this in your pocket, especially if you have really tight pockets, the ring can kind of push against your skin and you would feel a little bit discomfort. But this is a thin case, so if you don't like bulk, then this could be up your alley. Next up is the silicone one with the ring cover. This one is my favorite one. Straight out the bat, the silicone just feels so much better in the hands. The form factor is pretty much the same, very thin, and it does feel a little bit more protective because the silicone case feels like it can bounce off the ground easier, and also it sits better in your hands because of the silicone grip. And with the additional security with the ring, I can barely see myself dropping my Flip 3. Just like the last case, this is a 3-piece case. Once you snap it on to the top and bottom piece, it stays on and it's not going to go anywhere. So that makes it so much easier to install your phone into your case. Now in terms of the ring, the little loop that attaches to it, the material on the silicone feels so much higher quality. It feels pretty close to a seat belt. But on a clear version, it feels like a very thin rubbery plastic piece, which kind of feels a little bit cheap to me. So obviously between these 2 cases, I'm going to choose the silicone case just because I like the grip. Now the con for me is that both cases you would eventually have to buy new ones because clear ones tend to turn yellow. That's when you start to buy a new case. And the silicone one, they tend to become more sticky and shiny. That's when they actually hold on and cling to your pockets. So it does get annoying. Next up is the S Pen for the Fold. There's really not much to talk about here. You get the pen and a pouch for it, but the pouch do feel pretty high quality, so I do like that. And also they do provide you extra tips just in case it breaks. Alright, moving on to the Fold cases, let's talk about the leather one first. Like all the other cases I've experienced in the past, from the S20, S21, they are super slippery. Over time, they do get slightly more rough, but to me, in personal preference, I just prefer the silicone grip. And I don't want a super slippery case for a very, very expensive phone. So in my mind, I want a case that protects it at all costs. The front piece is plastic, so it does feel pretty flimsy, and of course it is a Samsung case, so it's pretty thin. And having the leather case in my hands, it doesn't feel like it has as much drop protection as the silicone version, just based off just experiencing from the silicone case of the Flip 3. I mean, the leather case does look really expensive, it looks nice and clean, but honestly, it's just way too slippery for me. And the last case we have is the flip cover with the pen. This one, you do get a case, the pen, and some extra tips. And I would say this one sticks out the most because it does have a little pocket to hold the S Pen. But from my experience of just holding it and just kind of casually think about how I would use this, for me, I just don't like it. The front cover just lays flat, it's not magnetic, it's not attached to anything, so once you open it or when you're like swinging the phone around, it just flies out. So when I'm holding it in my hands, it doesn't feel as secure. And when you open the Fold, the front cover pushes out a bit more, so it feels like you're holding a bigger phone. And it's not like you're holding the extra space as a leverage to hold the phone better, because you can't. It's not magnetic, it's not holding onto anything, it's just a flimsy flap. I can bend it backwards and leave the front half exposed, but when I do, it kind of increases the thickness of the phone, so it feels like I'm holding a gigantic brick. So the handling of this case is just super clunky and it doesn't feel secure. Just imagine your Fold being dropped and just in mid-air, there's a slight breeze and the front cover can just easily be pushed out the way, leaving the front screen exposed. But there are some good parts I do like about this case. It's not all bad. One is the material. I do like the texture and feel of this case. It does have a better grip, or way better grip than the leather one. Every time when you open the front cover, the phone is pretty responsive of turning on. And then there is a handy spot for the S Pen. So I do like the texture, the color, the feel, the look, and the handy spot for the S Pen, but just holding it in your hands and feeling it, the front cover, to me, I think it's a fail. But this is all based on personal preference because I am not a fan of cases with covers. But Samsung has a lot of different cases for these phones, so I'm pretty sure you will find one that you will like. So those are my thoughts of these Samsung cases. Let me know what you guys think, and would you even buy these cases knowing that they are third-party ones that are cheaper and possibly better? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.